Well, hello everyone. This is the OhioRAAM Show for September 26, 2021. The show about ultracycling and basically all things cycling now. Hi, Lee.
Hi, Jim. And the show is brought to you by the good people who operate Time Station 41 in Oxford, Ohio, 42 in Blanchester, 43 in Chillicothe. Woohoo, Jim, is Chillicothe.
Definitely. Yoo-hoo.
And that's Time Station in the Race Across America, of course. Jim,
Yes,
the
sir.
fun of going live.
Definitely. Yes, I know
You
we have
just
some
never
issues.
know what's going to happen.
I know. So what happened today?
Well, I woke up this morning.
Mm-hmm. That's a good thing, by the way.
I woke up fairly early this morning and looked at my phone, and there was a text from our guest today, Guy
Yes.
Stapleford.
Yes.
He's out in the ocean somewhere. I don't know. Apparently, and he has no signal that he can use video with.
Gotcha.
So, folks, we're glad to see all you guests here.
Definitely.
But Guy isn't going to be here. You're stuck with us. Well, not quite, Jim.
That's correct. That's right.
Because
you had some great pre-planning for us.
Well, we talked about this together a month or so ago. We got into discussion. What happens if the guest doesn't show up? Hi, Jenny. How are you? We're glad to see Denmark checking in here.
Definitely. Team Skydog, Soren also. Thank you, guys.
As well.
Yes.
Yeah, great. And hey, everybody, check in. Tell us where you're from. You're going to save our bucket today because we lost our guest. And so what do you do if something happens like this? And so what we have done, we have reached back into the bucket of shows past.
Best of show, right?
Best of shows. We edited it down a little bit to make it a little more concise and take out all the silliness that happens in between. And we're going to run that. We're going to talk once again to Leah GoldStein and Stein and Erik Newsholme, the winners of the Race Across America this year. So we're going to run that little clip a little later on. But first of all, we want to talk a little bit about the World Bicycle Relief Program. That is the charity we have chosen to support here at the Race Across America. And this gives a little chance to do that because the clip we have to show isn't really that long. World Bicycle Relief is a program that's been going on for a number of years. And I forget how many hundreds of thousands of bicycles they've supplied around the world so far. But what they have is the Buffalo bike, which is a bicycle that is really tough, designed to take a beating. It's not the kind of thing that you and I ride here on the roads in Ohio by any means. Ours wouldn't last very long in those conditions. And it's been designed, I guess RAAM has had a hand in the building and designing of it. Some other companies, the tires are extra sturdy. And these bikes are delivered to people in third world countries who need basic transportation over roads or non-roads, I should say. And they're an attractive bicycle.
Definitely.
They're not shabby by any means, but they do a lot of good here. I have a couple of photos to show you. They often are given to school children who have a long distance to walk to school, make it easier. And in some cases for girls, it makes it safer because there are certain people out there who have ill motive and offer these girls rides on motor scooters to school and so forth, and they never get there. So the bicycle gives them a way to avoid that kind of thing, and they have given a lot of bicycles to that.
That is awesome.
Farmers, hey, this strikes a chord for me, Jim. I was raised on a farm.
Yes.
And I know about the 10-gallon milk can, and I want to tell you, that is one heavy thing.
I bet.
I have lifted a few. And few being the key word there. But this has helped this gentleman get his milk to market much quicker. He can have more cows, make more trips. Everything works well. And carrying water.
Definitely, yes.
Some people have to walk long distances to get their water in many places in the world. And here is a lady who is using a buffalo bike to carry her water, a woman transporting her children wherever they children need to go.
Definitely.
We all know about that.
Yes.
And the nice thing about it, here's a man. This is a baker. He's delivering his bread each morning on his bike and makes that service. But it also comes with mechanics. They provide mechanics. They train them. They provide parts, spare parts, and so forth to have this happen. And this only costs Jim $147 per bike.
Wow, that's a far cry from our bikes.
Yeah, it is. But it provides basic transportation. It increases the productivity.
Mm-hmm.
It has improved the grades of these children go up. It's just so many good things about the World Bicycle Relief. We hope to get some people on the show at some point in the future to talk more about it. But you can find out more about it by going to our website. You see the link there, sort of covered up at the top. I need to move that down a little bit, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
And at the bottom, OhioRAAMShow.com, you can see more about the World Bicycle Relief. And while you're there, there's a place you can donate. Click on there and drop a dime. We don't get any credit for it. Maybe at some point we will figure out something to do about that, but not right now. It's a great program. It really helps the lives of people. They're moving into other countries. I think they're starting in South America now.
Awesome.
A great program, Jim.
Definitely.
How about some news?
Yep. The first thing I want to do is this past week was the sad anniversary of Yuri's passing. So we'll give a moment of silence and remember him and everything he meant to us and everybody else in the ultracycling and cycling community. Okay, upcoming events. The Israeli 612 24-hour is coming up October 5th and 6th. One very special to us, the Borrego World Time Trial Championships, October 8th through the 10th. A lot of RAAM riders will be there. A few of them, Joe Lawhorn, and a few others will be there riding, and hopefully we'll have some kind of report on that. October 9th, the Vertigo Challenge in Pensacola, and October 16th, NCOM. So those will be a really good rides coming up, and they're still going on as of right now. So good luck to all those riders and racers. And be safe out there. Yeah,
NCOM is no country for old men.
Yes. In the news, Hoodoo 500, Deanne Hare, Iowa gravel grinder, sweeps first finisher, first woman, first over 50 in all stages. Congratulations.
And Deanna will be on the show.
Definitely.
I don't have a date just yet, but
okay.
We'll let you know.
Yeah, keep watching the social media from us and our website for more information. Mike Hall's attorney reports a close on his attempts to get justice for Mike Hall. He exhausted all the legal remedies, which is sad to hear.
Yeah, that's too bad. And we hope to do something about that in terms of a memorial of some kind in the not too far distant future. We're working with some ideas.
Gotcha. Megan Hakkinen tweeted after a while, 21,000 words and many, many cups of coffee later. Her @ 3-day novel is done and dusted. Going to proofread it and going to get it out there for us. So that'll be awesome.
I wonder what that's about. That's going to be curious.
Yes, definitely. Anxiously awaiting it. And I guess, Lee, you got a note from Carmela Pearson about cycling booming in Southeast Asia.
Yeah. The 100th anniversary of Audax rides, rondadors, what have you, want to call them, is coming up. And they said they had 1,000 registrants in the Philippines for a 200K celebration of that 100th anniversary, which is kind of remarkable about what's going on in Southeast Asia. And thank you, Carmela, for that information. And we would like to support any of those emerging areas for cycling, Jim.
Definitely. And now we've got a RAAM update. The number of entries, 2-person has stayed the same for the last couple of weeks, still at 3. 4-person went up. We've got 7 now. 8-person went up. We've got 5. And now we have 33 solos, and 16 countries will be represented so far. So that's great news. And hope many more people show up and want to ride and race. Here, we got a new little feature here. We're going to try some trivia questions. Okay, this is the one for today's show, 926. What was the original name of the race across America? What we want you to do is post your answer in the comments with hashtag ORSTA0926 and then put your answer in. And you can do that live or watching the recordings. And we'll go back through and we'll give the answer and the possible winners next week.
Okay, very good.
And I think that's all for the news and new updates.
Let's get the URL up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's all we have for now. Jim?
Yeah, hang on. We've got another little note from Soren. He's going to ride virtual in his room, his pain cave or pleasure cave, whichever way you prefer.
Yeah.
Where they do the ride in Borrego. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's and the travel restrictions I understand from Europe. I believe Europe at this point is the only place that I know of to the United States has been lifted, but too late for the World Time Trials.
Definitely, sadly. Yes.
And see the back of Jim's head, and
there you go. Instead of the work, and there's the side
studio.
view. Playing with some new stuff in the studio. So
yeah, got to play with his cameras a little bit.
There you go. Exactly.
And at least they've been lifted, and hopefully that bodes well. It'll stay that way.
Mm-hmm.
Again, goodness sakes, everybody get their vaccinations so we can keep this thing rolling and
that's right.
Have a truly international sport again.
Definitely, we need the people here from all over come 2022 for RAAM and all the other races.
Yeah. I see Marco is scheduled for World Time Trials.
Yes.
I hope he's still coming. And I think I know how he's doing it, but that's another story. Jim.
Definitely. Yes.
Have we got anything else to talk about? Or are we just wasting time?
I think we're not really wasting time. We're having a good time here talking.
Okay.
But I think we should get on to the best of in replace of our missing guest today.
Well, let's just say that since this is a recording, you will see comments from the recorded show when we did the recording.
Definitely.
But you can make comments if you wish during the show, and we can overlay them, I believe, Jim. We haven't really done this before, but definitely. I think we can pull that off. So that said, let's get on with today's recorded show, yes. Our fill-in for our missing guest.
Yes.
You run it, Jim.
Okay, we'll do. Got it right here.
Guest, let's get it. It's too late. Yeah. We've held him back too long.
There you go.
First of all, Leah up in
Leah.
Canada, Victoria. I always want to say Victoria, but it's British Columbia. How are you doing, Leah?
Okay, hi.
And Erik Newsholme in Colorado.
Yes, hey, Erik.
How you doing?
Actually, not too far from where Mark and Sherry live in Arvada, Erik.
Okay.
So, anyhow, we have with us the female winner of the Race Across America and the male winner of the Race Across America.
People are sensitive.
Definitely. I like Red's comment. Leah won. That's just the easy way to do it, right?
That's it. Leah won. And
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Jim, my first question, I'll let you have the second one, is tell me about your highs and lows, each one of you. Leah, you want to start out?
Well, the high was seeing the finish line, you know what I mean? And I think, I mean, it was the heat for the lows for sure. I think that, as talking to Erik too, it's like surviving RAAM this year. It was hard to actually race it at your full potential. And I think that's why I've recovered so fast, like muscular wise. I think what took the most beating was my skin and the burns that all three of us probably suffered, like the lips and the arms and the back and the legs. So it was a challenge this year for sure. I mean, I've never rode in those kind of temperatures. I've never even walked in those kind of temperatures before. And again, it wasn't just through the desert. It carried on like right across to the finish line. So it was a tough one for sure.
Yeah. Lowest point for me was in Cortez when I had to go to the emergency room. And it wasn't actually heat related. It was actually a muscular emergency, almost. Symptoms of rhabdomyalgia, which is a muscle affliction, can get in your kidneys.
Ooh.
And it was the most pain I'd ever been in my life. And then, my Western nurse practitioner said, your body was just swelling from the heat. And yeah, after Arizona and Utah trying to kill us, it was just, and to try and get back on a bike. And, I was about ready to pull the plug, and my crew just got in my face and said, yeah, get back on a bike and go east. And the high point obviously is finishing the journey, and also being able to wear the American flag across the finish line. Being the first American to win since 2003 on the men's side. That was just awesome. And it's still sinking in with me.
Wow. Excellent. Excellent. My question, I guess, to both of you, and kind of going off what Erik just said, how much did your crew help you during the heat and the whole race this year? Were they a good part of it? Did they make you better than you've ever been?
Well, I can say for mine, I mean, if it wasn't for my crew, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you right now. I mean, they had to work like dogs just to, to try and keep my core cool. I mean, we used frog skin, we used socks, that ice sock around the neck, and every 5 or 10 minutes when they were leapfrogging a bottle of water over my head. And that wasn't just for a couple of hours, that was all day,
right?
And just to regulate, your body, they were on it. So my crew, I mean, I can't thank them enough. And again, it's not the individual that wins the race, is the whole team wins the race, because without them, you're nothing, right? You're not getting anywhere. You're not getting across that finish line.
Excellent.
No, and I'm the same way. I mean, my crew, they worked their tails off, and they were, it's always about figuring out problems and solutions to those problems as they come up. And, we train to be, our bodies are on autopilot. Mentally, we're strong, obviously we're really strong, but there's some things you're just not going to get in training, like 120 degrees, day after day after day. And like going up the RAAM Century, that 30-mile climb, I got an ice bath to cool down my core. And the same thing with Leah, the ice bottles, the ice on you. I had ice bags on my quads under my kit to keep me cool, and use the ice bath. And so, just a constant, and then, more figuring out problems. I had start of thrush, which is yeast in the mouth, because of what the kind of stuff we had. And I had the stuff for me, but it's just those constant problems and constant situations. We had 3 flat tires in my follow vehicle.
Oh no!
And they had to get a new tire. And those kind of things. So, but yeah, without the crew, and I call it Team E, just for that reason, because it's a team of people coming together. And a lot of them, are meeting for the first time in Oceanside or that weekend, and they come together, and the chemistry is just beautiful. And I'd say accomplishment lasts forever. The pain is temporary.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So were these crews that you both have they been with you before, or were they just picked new for this year?
Mine have been with me from the 2011. So I'm fortunate enough to have this. I mean, I had a couple of new people, but they've been with me before. They've done other races with me. So I've been lucky enough to have people that know me and they know the race, so it's not so foreign to them.
Gotcha.
I had 2 crew members from my 16 race. The other 8 were new to crewing me. A lot of them knew me personally, and so it wasn't a big stretch. I did have 3 rookies on my crew, but they all performed flawlessly. I couldn't ask for anything better out of my crew the entire way. Their energy was great, and we just shared a beautiful journey. Because there's only 12 of us that started, and a lot of them, went away. We didn't see each other too much on the road. I saw Leah's RV more than I saw her on the race. I got to share the road with Mark for a little while before he, unfortunately pulled out. So yeah, after Durango, it was pretty quiet out there.
I like to inject here because I know there are at least one person watching who's not familiar with this whole phenomena, that flat tires are not uncommon on the Race Across America or UltraCycling, because your car is driving over to the right and there's all kinds of junk and glass and bolts and concrete and you name it over there. So flat tires, broken rims is not an uncommon. I think maybe 3 might, I don't know if that's a record or not, but you may be pushing it a little bit. I got the feeling, Leah, that you had a plan and you stuck with it through thick and thin. Is that what was
you have
the plan?
exactly it. That's exactly it. I mean, we learned from 2019, we cut my sleep too early, and I think being sleep deprived too early, you pay for it later on, where you just have to keep coming off the bike and taking these power naps. So we stuck to the plan and went the first 40 hours, and then we stuck to 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours. And then the last 2 days or last 3 days, we went down to 90 minutes.
Okay, so as I said, as dot watchers, we look at those numbers and we look at your check-ins and so forth, and we try to extrapolate from that. But Erik, when you were on the show before the race, we know you have some specific sleep challenges, if I can get those words out.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Well, I have sleep apnea, so I have to have my CPAP machine to get the proper sleep. And so Ed had been practicing the No Country for Old Men, and I had an inverter in the van. I did stay in a hotel twice, but the rest of it was in a van on the side of the road. And it was during the heat of the day, the first 2 days, and then we switched to my normal sleep time. But I was doing the same thing as Leah, 3 hours until that last weekend, Friday and Saturday, when they cut it to 90 minutes. But at that point, the sleep had been banked and the head was good. And I didn't have sleep deprivation issues at all, like I did in 16, where I was a complete basket case. And so when I got like the Four Sisters, all that climbing after Parkersburg, I was really having a good time.
Excellent. Did you guys learn anything for future races with all the heat and everything? How you would do something different?
I don't want to race in that kind of heat again.
Yeah, there you go.
Right in January, huh?
There you go.
I mean, I in 15 I experienced about 125 degrees going through Siloam and stuff like that. But then it metered out. That was like that one day. This year it was like 3 solid days of 115, 120 degrees, 95 at night. The only saving grace was the sun wasn't on you.
Right.
But then, when I did Wolf Creek Pass, I was in the rain and it was beautiful. I mean, I just, was off the bike in the ER and then slowly got to Durango for that sleep. And all of a sudden I'm rocking up Wolf Creek Pass. So I guess the message for people down the road are learning is you never, ever give up on the body and its ability, especially for us at this level. Our ability to recover and come back day in and day out is words can't describe how we're able to do it. Leah the same way, 40 hours out on the bike and then first sleep, and being able to maintain that day in and day out. It's pretty phenomenal. It's
you guys
really
are both amazing, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Back in the olden days, there was a lot of mind games that went on for RAAM. Now that we have GPS, probably there's mind games that go on, but in a different way. We watched Leah with great interest as you were chased across Kansas and Missouri. Mark was always about 20, 25, 30 miles behind you, and we were wondering what was going on. It didn't seem reasonable that you would pace each other that closely, that long. And I surmised, I don't know what Jim surmised, that Mark was just waiting back there to spring on you. What were you feeling at that time?
Well, I know that he's done it, 11 times. So I know he knows the race, and I know that he likes to kind of push it at the end. So like through the Appalachians, but I was kind of on the same route because I excel in the mountains. I like the climbing. So I said, I'm just going to race my race. We had a plan, even if he passed me or not. And then I would race him more in the Appalachians because that's kind of where my strength is. But I mean, you just have to stick to what you have a plan, right? Because if you start racing somebody that early in the race, you're going to blow yourself. And I have from experience in the past of doing that. So we just stuck to the plan, and then we played it cool. And then, we could see that we were gaining on him once he passed, because he passed really fast, and he was losing it a little bit. But again, I just stuck to the plan, and you don't even claim victory. Even when I passed him, you claim victory once you cross that line, right? So it was just keeping a cool head and not worrying about anybody else.
Well, I think he DNF'd just right after Chillicothe, didn't he, Jim?
Yeah, yes, basically. Close to where you passed him, I believe. You both were right together at that point. So,
yeah, we saw that and wondered what it seemed like the wrong time of day for him to stop. And the stop got to be longer and longer, and you knew something was not right. But that's too bad that had to happen. But, that's UltraCycling. That's any sport. Things happen. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many have been watching the Tour de France, but stuff happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was kind of an unusual day today. I didn't turn out the way I expected.
Same here. I know. but they were gunning for him, so.
Yeah. Anyhow, Jim.
What's your next big plans? Do you guys have any new races? Are you going to do RAAM again next year, or what are the plans in the future?
Well, I'm not going to do RAAM next year. I might do RAW, but I'm definitely going to come back to race it probably in 2 years, and I'll probably just do some shorter races. And then if our borders open up with the U.S. this year, I'll probably do the Texas race or the 508. Or the Silver State, I should say.
Yes.
Silver
but we'll
State,
see.
yeah.
I mean, it was a pain in the butt to get across, because just with the borders being closed, it was very pricey just to have everything shipped with a commercial carrier and having to fly over and COVID test. I mean, I'm still in quarantine coming back, right?
Wow.
Plus my crew had to quarantine.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, it's a lot to ask, right?
Definitely.
So it depends on the situation, what's going to happen the next couple of months.
Gotcha.
For me anyways.
Yep.
Well, let's hope that we get things opened up so we can have a worldwide sport again, and I think all of us would love that. I think Jim and I both predicted that a woman would win it this year. The only thing is, it isn't the woman we thought it was going to be, because she couldn't make it. But again, that's the sport.
Yeah.
Erik, future plans for you?
I'm just going to sit back and kind of relish into, all that happened. I mean, this is a culmination of years and years worth of work to finish this RAAM journey. And my goal was to finish it. And then, when Mark went down, I knew I was the lead male, and all of a sudden now here I come, the winner of this on the men's side, and second overall to Leah, and Leah and I got to share the stage, which was awesome. And then, the first American, I'm the oldest person, man or woman, to win the overall gender division at 56. So there's a lot of that to take in, and look down the road to try and, capitalize on it somehow. I mean, there's a big story and message that I have that I think resonates with a lot of people, that, when you're get to 50, late 40s, 50s, and such, life doesn't end. You have the world at your fingertips. You just have to be good between the ears. And it took me a little while to figure that out. That was a little bit of a struggle my first 2 times, 15 and 16. This year was about to see if I'm one of the best in the world, and I can actually say, and I'm not speaking for Leah, but Leah is as well. We're a couple of top cyclists in the entire bicyclists in the entire world.
Definitely.
Yes, and it's quite an honor for us to have you here on the show with us.
Yeah.
Tonight. And Jim, we've got to think about giving something away, but I have a little video that I want to show you guys. I think you'll appreciate.
I want to congratulate Leah and Erik and Michael Davis for their magnificent achievement at RAAM 2021. Has been a very challenging edition, and the heat, it made a lot of victims in the desert, including myself, unfortunately, but I'm very happy that they have been able to finish, and a big hug to all 3 of them, Leah, Erik, and Michael Davis. Thank you.
And that's the grand gentleman of UltraCycling himself, Valerio Zamboni.
Definitely.
And I have to say a little bit of news, Jim. Actually, we had announced that he had announced himself that he had food poisoning.
Yep.
He is determined, if I understand it, there's a name for it, but taking in too much water.
Yes. And I
Without enough
you're right.
electrolytes, and I can't give you the name of it.
Yeah.
But they've determined that that's what happened to him. We're glad he's okay. Valeria, we hope we'll see you back at RAAM 2022 or 3 or 4 or 5 or
Definitely.
whatever. So
One last thing for you guys. Do you have any shout outs to any of your sponsors or any charities that you want to give real quick?
Well, all my sponsors, I mean, without them, this again wouldn't happen, right? So they know who they are. There's a list of them. Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Excellent.
and we do want to give a shout out to Leah's book. Okay, now limited.
No limits.
No limits. And in the show notes at OhioRAAMShow.com website, there is a link to that. Do you have a book, Erik?
Not yet, but I think that might be in the works.
Okay, well, let us know when you do.
I will. My biggest shout out would have to be to my wife, who's been my rock and my supporter throughout this whole thing. My crew was just phenomenal. The 10 people just came together as one. I kind of sponsored it myself because the race was so late, and we only had 5 weeks notification that we had a race and whatever. So there's actually, I have a sharpening business here in town, and so this was a advertisement for my mail-in sharpening at Erik the Blade on Facebook. So, and I actually Doug Shivington in Chillicothe, he had a knife for me as I rolled through.
Yes.
Mail it to me. We'll take care of it.
Did you have your your pedal sharpener there, Jim?
No, didn't have that there.
But
He had enough pedaling by then, hadn't he?
yeah, no, but that's those are again, my wife has just been. She was my crew chief for my first 2 years, and she couldn't be this year, but she was there from Ohio to the finish, cheering me on. She was on the side of the road, and of course, she was there at the finish line, and that was one of the most special embraces I've ever had in my life.
Presence, thank you for taking your time, and we wish you the best. Okay.
I think we learned a couple of things there, didn't we?
We learned a couple things.
I'm going to hide that back. There we go. Sorry about that.
Kind of figured out what I did wrong, but the video hung up, I believe, didn't it, Jim?
Yeah, and now I think you were streaming from your PC. I don't think it's uploaded, right?
No,
it shared from yours?
Streaming from my PC, probably a little more
requirement bandwidth.
I got a lot of oomph here. Maybe it was just it was not the internet so much as just other stuff.
Well, hopefully we'll do better on the next time we have to do it this way.
Yeah, we'll think about that. Actually, StreamYard has given us some new opportunities we might use, Jim, in the
Definitely.
future for something like that.
Yep.
Hey, we had a nice group though watching. Thank
Yes,
you all.
definitely, yeah.
If you are out there, put a comment in real quick. Let us know you're here.
Definitely.
And we always appreciate it when you go down there. Where's it at?
Yeah, I don't know which way it is on each one.
YouTube,
So
you go down here and subscribe. And Facebook, you go up here and follow. We appreciate that. And we appreciate your comments. We appreciate your likes. And we love you all.
Definitely, we greatly appreciate the people that do watch and rewatch on the recordings
and rewatch. That's
Yes.
was a good one. That's worth watching again,
Yes.
even though the video did hang up. Next week we're gonna go to India, Bangalore, India, with Vera Velkanar, who did the Golden Quadrilateral on a tandem with two different captains, I believe, but she's had quite a lot of interesting cycling experience, and that will be on in order to give it at a proper time in India. I believe we're going to be on 10 o'clock next Sunday morning, which will be 7:30 in India. But when you see it listed on Facebook or YouTube, the times in your part of the world will be there. So we'll be looking forward to that, Jim.
Definitely.
And with that, I think we ought to get out of here before people kick us out. Do you think?
There you go. Exactly. And it was a pleasure this morning, Lee, or this afternoon, I should say. And we look forward to next week's show. And we'll get back to hopefully our normal routine and do a giveaway or two. And don't forget to answer that trivia question for us. I'll put that right back up there. What was the original name of Race Across America? And in your answer, either live or recorded, use the hashtag ORSTA0926 and in your answer. And we'll post the results next week.
All righty.
All right.
With that, I think we're going to go say goodbye, Jim.
Yes. Goodbye, Lee. Goodbye, everybody, and have a safe and wonderful week.
And goodbye, Guy, wherever you are.
Yes, out in the middle of the ocean.
This is Gregory Zuber, thanking you for watching and sharing.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.